Hey, I'm Dylan and I'm here chatting with Milky. The mixtape is called The Greatest Thing I'll Never Learn because it was something my mum used to say to me a lot, which is the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return, which as a 20-something-year-old with an incredibly chaotic personal life is just not an option for me. I mean, I guess the theme's all about not loving and wanting to and just being terrible at all kinds of relationships, whether that be friendships or the love kind. I'm trying to navigate being a human and feelings at the moment, and it's very much a pinpoint on that stage of my life. So the sonics of the mixtape are very interesting because I was brought up on very classic dad rock, like AC/DC and Aerosmith and Guns and Rainbow and the Stones. So I'm a big guitar girl at heart, but I can't for the life of me write anything other than a pop top line. As much as I want to be a rock star, I'm not a real one. I guess all of those songs are me having a lot of fun with guitars and sessions and writing my very puppy top lines over the top. Every Heart But Mine is, I think, my favourite song that I've put out, and I wanted to hold it back because you can only have so many singles when it comes to releasing a mixtape, and I really wanted it to have its own moment, and it felt like the right time to do it on the repackage because I guess it's a bit of a glimpse as to what's about to happen. It's putting a full stop on that era, but also giving everyone an idea of what's going to happen next. And then when it came to the live recordings, I think that playing live is my favourite part of this, and I love nothing more than being on stage and pretending to be a rock god. And I think that because I've basically messaged Flume every year for the past 5 years of my life asking him to do a remix of one of my songs, and I didn't hear from him, so I thought, well, if I can't have remixes on it, I should probably just put the live versions out. Oh, no, don't worry, I've messaged him. I did say, I was like, hey, it's my annual message. If you want to collab, I am in Australia next week. Hit me up. Creative processes are weird. I think that mine very much reflects my personality. It's very all over the place and can't quite hold itself together or stay the same. Especially for the mixtape, it was very much a case of exploding into a writing room, bouncing off all of the walls until I calmed down enough to actually tell the story straight. But when it comes to whether it's lyrics first or sonics first or melody first, it's always something different, which I know is a really painful answer, but I just can't quite keep to doing one thing at a time. Oh, that's a good question. To make them into a die-hard fan. See, I have favourites, and then I know which my fans like the most. But I think I would probably play them Nothing Lasts Forever to get their attention, and then I would slap them around the face with Treat You Bad because that's my favourite on the mixtape. It's also my favourite to play live. But also I think it gives a very good insight into how I write my lyrics and how on the nose it all is. And then I think maybe Blisters to show that I do have some emotions in me. I'm not emotionally dead, I swear. I feel like Blisters, it was one of the hardest to write. I actually wrote it on my birthday, which makes it even more sad. Shit. And I think that referring to how a relationship or a friendship can disintegrate over such a long period of time that you don't really notice it until, you've got a gaping hole in your heart. And then referring that to something that a shoe does to you, I think I was quite proud of myself for. I have been here for, I think, 24 hours at this point. I arrived yesterday morning. Memorable moment so far. We went to Bondi Beach yesterday. And I haven't seen a beach or daylight or sunshine in ages. So you know what? That was a real moment for me. And I had breakfast at 1 p.m. That was great. I mean, it's the most important thing. I think, you know, when you play live, it's however many people in a room screaming at the top of their lungs, getting all of their feelings out, which is, you know, it's a kind of therapy that my therapist can't give to me. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, without them, there was no me. And it makes me feel as safe as I think I do them, because, you know, emotions are a human experience that everyone shares, which sounds so cliche, but it's so true. So I think, yeah, that's why it's so important. I think that's why I enjoy it so much. It's because, you know, seeing something that you've experienced be mirrored in someone else's eyes is the most terrifying thing ever, but also the most wonderful, wholesome thing. This is going to be a busy one. Got to be very busy. I have a lot of touring. There's going to be a lot of shows, a lot I haven't announced yet, but don't worry. And some new music. And planning next year. I guess that's what this year is. Taylor Swift, AC/DC, Flume. I Like It When You Sleep, 1975. How to Train Your Dragon. All kinds of stuff. My worst nightmares. Hannah Montana. Since You've Been Gone, Rainbow. AC/DC at Olympic Park. AC/DC. Backstreet Boy. Weirdly, Anastasia. Is that right? Anastasia? I'm Out of Love. Now, baby, come on. I've played Wembley Stadium. Taylor Swift. Hold It Together. The moment my dad had me up on the kitchen table pretending to be a rock star.